upon a time it was hot in the jungles of Africa. Well, the jungle is usually hot, but this particular day, it was hot. Hotter than usual. Oh, the sun was beaming. And all the animals were trying to hide away from the sun. They were hiding behind the trees or up under leaves, just any old place to get out of that sun. All of the animals were hiding except the buzzard. That buzzard was flying through the sky, flop, 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 trying to find himself something to eat. Flop, flop, flop. When a little rabbit came up out of his hole trying to cool off, the rabbit sat there just shaking and shaking. Oh, he was so hot. When the buzzard came in, flop, landed next to the rabbit. Flop. He said, good morning, Mr. Rabbit. The rabbit said, morning, buzzard. Now, see, that rabbit did not speak so politely to that buzzard because the rabbit knew all about that buzzard's bad reputation. The buzzard said, oh, Mr. Rabbit, how do you like this hot weather we're having? Now, everybody likes talking about the weather. So the rabbit said, oh, Mr. Buzzard, it is hot. It is hot down there in my hole, and I can hardly breathe. But the buzzard said, look at me. Look at how cool I am. You know, it gets mighty cool flying up there in that sky. Hey, Mr. Rabbit, how about me and you going for a ride on the breeze and flying through the trees? Now, that rabbit's mama always told him, whatever you do, don't ever trust a buzzard. But that rabbit was so hot. It was hot down there, and it looked hot down there in his hole, and he was hot where he stood. So he said, okay, Mr. Buzzard, I want to go for a ride. Well, wow, that rabbit climbed up on the buzzard's back, and the buzzard went flying through the sky. Flop, flop, flop. And the rabbit was just cooling. Oh, it felt so good on that buzzard's back. Then in a minute, the buzzard said, all right now, Mr. Rabbit, hold on tight. I'm going in for a 3-point landing. Then that buzzard went into his power dive, 100 miles per hour straight down. And when he got almost to the ground, he swerved and knocked the rabbit off his back, broke the rabbit's neck. Then he turned and ate the rabbit for breakfast. I guess that rabbit should have listened to his mama, huh? Mm-hmm. Well, later on that day, the buzzard was hungry again, so he went flying through the sky to see what he could find. Flop, flop, flop. When a little squirrel went running up a tree, oh, it was a cute little squirrel. When the buzzard came in, flop, landed on the branch next to the squirrel. Flop. He said, good afternoon, Mr. Squirrel. The squirrel said, afternoon, buzzard. Now, see, that squirrel didn't speak so politely to that buzzard either because the squirrel also knew about that buzzard's bad reputation. The buzzard said, oh, Mr. Squirrel, you know, I've been giving all my friends a cool ride in the sky today. Would you like to go? Well, the squirrel had to think about it. He said, yeah, no. Yeah, no. But that buzzard got mad. He said, hold it, Mr. Squirrel. Now, I'm not begging you to go. I got folks lined up asking me to take them for a ride. Now, if you don't want to go, you just tell me. Well, that squirrel knew that you were not supposed to trust the buzzard. But that squirrel also knew that the higher he climbed up into that tree, the cooler it got. So he decided to take a chance. He said, okay, Mr. Buzzard, I want to go for a ride. Wow, that squirrel climbed up on the buzzard's back, and the buzzard went flying through the sky. Flop, flop, flop. Ooh. That squirrel was just cooling. It felt so good on that buzzard's back. Then in a minute, the buzzard said, all right now, Mr. Squirrel, hold on tight. I'm going in for a 3-point landing. Then that buzzard went into his power dive, 100 miles per hour straight down. And when he got almost to the ground, he swerved and knocked the squirrel off his back, broke the squirrel's neck. Then he turned and ate the squirrel for supper. Now, over in the sycamore tree, swinging, tending to his own business, was a monkey. Now, that monkey saw what that buzzard had done to that cute little rabbit. The monkey also saw what that buzzard had done to that cute little squirrel. So he sat there just thinking and swinging. The monkey had a plan. So the next day, it was hot again, and all the animals were hiding in their usual places. All the animals were hiding except that monkey. that monkey stood out in the clearing staring up at the sky. He stayed out there so long that all of his friends started worrying about him. You know, the chipmunk and all the other animals are like the monkey. They said, why is that monkey standing out there in that sun? They said, oh, that monkey done lost his cool. They said, oh, the sun done burnt that monkey's brains out. But the monkey just stood there staring up at the sky. Soon, he saw a speck, and he knew that it was a buzzard. So the monkey started dancing, a boop, a boop, a boop, a boop, a boop, a boop. When the buzzard came in, flop, landed next to the monkey, flop. He said, good morning, Mr. Monkey. The monkey said, oh, good morning, Mr. Buzzard, good morning. A boop, a boop, a boop, a boop, a boop, a boop. The buzzard said, why, Mr. Monkey, what is that there you're doing? I've never seen anything like it. The monkey said, oh, Mr. Buzzard, I'm doing the flying dance. Oh, I wish I could just ride the breeze and fly through the trees. A boop, a boop, a boop, a boop, a boop, a boop. The buzzard said, why, Mr. Monkey, are you saying you want to go for a ride? Now, there's nothing in the world I'd rather do than give my friends a ride in the sky. Now, come on and climb up on my back. Now, the monkey's friends hid their faces. They said, I know that monkey's got better sense than that. They said, I know that monkey's not going to climb up on that buzzard's back. But the monkey was cool. He strutted, and he climbed up on the buzzard's back. And the buzzard went flying through the sky. Flop, flop, flop. And the buzzard said to himself, ooh, wee, I'm going to have me some monkey meat. I'm not going too far because this here monkey, he asked for it. So the buzzard said, all right now, Mr. Monkey, hold on tight. I'm going in for a 3-point landing. But the monkey said, no, Buzzard, you hold on. You're not going to have yourself no monkey dinner today. Then the monkey took his tail and used it like a whip and zip. Zipped it right around that buzzard's neck. And the monkey pulled on his tail so hard that the buzzard started choking. His eyes nearly popped out of his head, and his tongue hung out of his mouth like this. And the monkey pulled on his tail so hard that the buzzard had to go where he wanted him to go. The monkey made the buzzard fly him past his friends. As he passed his friends, the monkey just waved, hey, hey. Now that monkey's friends just laughed and laughed at that buzzard. And do you know, that monkey made that buzzard fly him all day long until the sun started going down. And then that monkey made that buzzard let him off in front of all of his friends. The monkey climbed off the buzzard's back, snapping his fingers. Well, that buzzard was so embarrassed, he was so humiliated that he walked away with his head all down. And do you know, from that day to this, the buzzard and all of his offspring cannot kill what they want to eat. They have to wait until something dies. And that's the story of the buzzard's friend.